Morning, everybody. I just want to do a quick video showing some of the neat stuff that I've been able to accomplish now that I'm using Paint Tool SAI to help me kind of animate my online games. So a lot of people use all kinds of different sites. One I experimented with a little bit was called Roll20, and it was good. It wasn't bad. It was hard to create a character sheet on it. For me, I'm not the most technical person, but I found I had struggles with it, and I do a lot of digital art on Paint Tool SAI. It's a great little program, and I kept telling myself, man, there's got to be a way I can implement that and do an online campaign board, battle maps, maybe just animated scenes or whatnot. Where theater of the mind is great, but with this new age and this background I have, you know what I mean, I can create imagery for the guys and girls that are playing with me, and it just makes it that much more immersive. I want to show you something that I put together using multiple layers and how easy it was. I put this together in 45 minutes when I did this, and it wasn't 20 to 25 minutes at least of it was just trying to come up with the idea of how I wanted the room to interact with them. The scene, I'll pull it up and then I'll explain to you the scene and kind of how I've done some things, okay? And mind you, these are all just pictures I got off the internet. None of this is for any kind of profit. This is just me going, okay, I want a battle map of a catacomb, and then I get it and I import it. I found pictures of people online that resemble the characters that we use in our game. And I'll just show you an example of it. So let's go ahead and go share screen. I'm using Zoom, by the way. I pay the minimum monthly subscription so I can have, I think it's like 15 bucks a month. What is that? A case of beer and a sandwich? I mean, it's no problem to sacrifice a little bit of something if you enjoy what you're doing. So let's go ahead and just go to share screen. Okay, there we go. So I've already got this pulled up in the background here. And this is my my battle map, okay? I've got a bunch of different layers over here and whatnot. And that's the only downside to this, really. If they decide to look and really nitpick this apart, they can see some of those things. So right here is a good spot for me to have while I'm doing this. I mean, I won't be looking right at the camera the whole time. I'll be looking at these little gauges over here. So normally I DM from this seat out here in my garage. I have these backdrops, and I'll try to find a backdrop that kind of matches the look of where I'm at. I'm not going to do that right now. I have other fish to fry with this, but this is the overall map. And the players that are telling me that I've been playing with are saying they can see all this perfectly fine, even on their phones. They're able to use Zoom, and they can see the individual little details of everything going on here. So the scene is this, and we have several different characters here. I can zoom in on any of them at any time, just like Roll20 or other platforms like this. And I have my band of characters, and this is a Warforged character named Brahmas, and he is being escorted by a Centurion or Centaur Ranger called Rainlore. We have our rogue here. We have our tiefling warlock, Iridan, and they're being followed by an avian maiden, or a winged woman, okay? And we are trying to get her back to her city, but it's a very sacred place, and there's certain tests you must pass to be able to be granted entry to the city. And this is kind of a shortcut that we have found. We know, she has said there is an ancient gateway here that will teleport us to the actual gates of the city, which are way high up in the Tier Mountains, okay? The Mountains of Tears. And we've came to this place, and it seems like it's just in ruin. There's pillars falling over here. It's an underground place. These windows are kind of irrelevant. but there's not hardly any light in here at all. It's very dark. And there are these 3 crystal orbs here and 1 pillar that is broken. And as you go to the far end of the room, there are statues of what look like people of her kind, right in front of what seems like some kind of book or scripture laying on a table. Okay. So I created some elements here, what they're going to have to figure out and do to be able to open up this portal. And it can go a couple different ways. It's going to be fun to show you, and hopefully I'll do it in the right order because I'm not taking this more than once. Okay. So the first thing is they go to the edge here. And the girl starts reading from this book. That's the scene. And all of a sudden an image appears. Okay, and the image is going to be of a spectral guardian that resembles her kind. Let me find that over here on the side. Angelic guardian. Okay, so there it is. Okay, now mind you, in this, each character I have on here has their own layer. Okay, and what I did is I put a little bit of a white light around the back of her, and I compressed the 2 layers together. It took maybe 15 seconds. I took one of these statues, I changed the hue of it by using my filters up here, color adjustments, hue and saturation, and that's how I was able to create this creature. Now what's great about it is when I'm doing this in game, I can change the opacity all the way down. And all of a sudden when they go up there and they're all standing by the altar, I can say, okay, this is the scene that you're seeing. All of a sudden you hear soft singing words. A light starts to emanate from behind your feet as a person comes into view. And then I do this. And all of a sudden it's there. Maybe I hover it just a little bit to make it look like some kind of effect. And there it is. This avian being says to them that there is an evil spirit within this catacomb that's been trying to get to the avian city for ever since this actual gateway was shut down. It was shut down because of that, and it still lingers in here, searching for a way to open up and go there. But it cannot touch things on the material plane that we're on. It's a demon spirit that hasn't got a full physical body. And we must vanquish it if we are to be allowed access to this gateway. Okay? And we're like, how do we vanquish it? What happens? How do we reveal it? She goes, the orbs used to serve as a protection of this place. And from the natural erosion of time, the pillars have fallen, and we need to find the missing orb. Okay? So, in some way or another, at that point, she fades away. Good luck. God bless. Have a Twinkie and a smile. There you go. She fades away. Okay, let's go ahead and turn that by using the eyeball icon on the corner. Let's go ahead and turn that layer just off. Wouldn't be able to see it regardless. Okay, so we go down to said orbs. Okay, I've imported 3 different orbs here, and you'll notice that one of these pillars is broken. Okay, there is an orb in here somewhere that needs to be found and put back on what remains of this pedestal right here. Okay? So what I've done for that is this. Once they're able to, she has a spell where she can do it. I believe my rogue character has a spell that's capable of illuminating and things like that. And I'm going to see if they can cast those on these orbs or can figure out how to get some light in here. And they all have their ways. If it fails and they cannot, Brahmas, the Warforged, is an NPC, and I can have him give clues as needed, depending on how bad a situation it is. So here's what happens. When they light these orbs, they start to shine a dull light, okay, which will help them locate the 4th missing one. When all 4 are shining, it will be light enough to where it will reveal the demon in this place, and then the fight will be on. Okay, so let's go ahead and show you a little bit of how I've done that. Okay, so let's say I've got, let me see. Okay, I have got lights and pillars. Look at that. I took some white, did a circle around them, and I did some yellow rays coming off of them. These get brighter the more of these that you find. So as they light each one, they start to get a little bit brighter and a little bit brighter. Okay, so we're about right there, which is really, really a neat idea, I think. Toot my own horn. Okay, so when they light 3 of those up, I have written over here to the side, missing orb. It starts to come into play. It's got its own opacity. Okay, so let me go to it. Missing orb. Okay, it will barely be glowing over here in the corner. And they will have to search this out. And the closer they get to it, the stronger it will be. When they find this orb, they will take it. Oh, sorry. Let me go to my select tool. So I can use this crosshair down here, and I can move, since I have the light and the orb on the same layer, I can now move this wherever I want to go, which makes this, it's super neat to be able to do things like this. So I'm able to take the orb, put it back onto the pillar. And when it does, I will say that they have illuminated these pillars all the way up. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Light pillars all the way up. They're shining bright. When all 4 of those start to shine bright, something comes into view. Okay, and it is this guy right here, and I'm going to show you when he comes into view, and I'm going to fade him in as well. So I found a picture of a shadow demon, and I've written some stats up for it, and here's what they see. Right? The shadow demon appears, comes into view. I'm going to keep it somewhat translucent because it's not quite materialized. So it's right there so they can see through it to a degree. And I can move it around just like a piece in here, man. The fight will be on. The characters were all, I can move them all individually and have them battle it from however they want to within the confines of this place. I'm going to Rainlore, move him up to wherever I need him to be. I'll have 2 different players. I'll be NPCing Rainlore. Fantastic setup. When the beast is destroyed, okay, I will go ahead and take it off there. When the beast, if the beast is destroyed, boom, okay. At that point, the angelic guardian comes back. Okay, let's go ahead and bring her back. She goes, the pathway is opened. Be gentle with it, you know, such and such. And the pathway looks like that. And it is faded and hums in the background. Well, no, not her, the gateway. Here we go. So it moves and fades and comes into being around the book. Then the characters go up and they are teleported to the avian city. And it's fantastic. And then when I get to the avian city, let me show you that. Let's go ahead and go file. Let's save this where it is. Okay, got it. Okay, let's go ahead and shut this down. It's pretty simple. Go from map to map. It's not really an issue. Okay, so let's go Shrine of Solon, however I want to pronounce that. It's a solar angel from the D&D books, and I'm trying to make a name out of it. Solarandian or something like that, something cool sounding. So let's open that up. Okay, so here's the scene. Once we make it to the avian city and we've talked to their people, there's a guy named Vargas. Vargas is a new character to us. He's part of what they call their Darkwing Guard. And the thing is, Brahmas are Warforged. I do Warforged a bit different in this campaign. In the world that I use, they are vessels for the spirits of people. Very few of them actually have their own entity, and they weren't created because my world is different. They carried the spirits of people within them. And Brahmas is here to return a favor. He was given life, and inside of Brahmas is the soul of a paladin named Merc Steelcrest. And Merc fell in battle a long, long time ago, and Vargas here saved his spirit and was able to use this device down here that we're getting ready to use to put the spirit of Merc Steelcrest inside of Brahmas to save him. And then he fueled the machine, and he is like a living construct of the soul of a paladin inside of him. So they have found a relic or a piece of this statue here in the middle. Okay, and this is an image of a solar right out of the Monsters Handbooks that I grayscaled and turned to stone, put some shadows behind it. It's in the middle of the thing here, okay? It's something that they worship. They have found some other, what they believe may be working Warforged constructs they've put on these pillars, one here and one down here below. Okay. I have some NPC tiles because I don't think everything deserves its own image. I think NPCs with a lot of dialogue do, but I created these squares that just have the D&D logo, and I have all kinds of these. I have some that look like, I'll show you. I have all kinds of these tiles. Okay, so as you can see here, I've got some that say leader on them. They have a neat looking background to them. All kinds of different stuff that I can pick and put in here. Okay, so Brahmas decides that he has had a second chance at life, or Merc, and he is going to let this angel inhabit his Warforged body. Okay, that's the whole greater scheme of this. So as Brahmas goes over here and stands in place, and he's aided by these two NPCs, and he stands in his place, Vargas and some others, including that avian girl that was with us earlier, begins this spell that starts to summon forth the spirit of this solar angel, and hoping that it will go into one of these three bodies. Brahmas seems to be the one that's the most capable. And here's the scene and how I'm going to do it. So when that happens, of course, the same light from the teleporter that brought them to the city starts to shine underneath of the feet of the characters here. So all of a sudden, there you go. See that? Where Brahmas is standing, where they're standing, all of a sudden there's this bright light. Okay? If it's not intense enough, I can go up here to filter, color adjust, brightness and contrast. Let's go ahead and make it even brighter if we need to. We can make it ridiculous. Okay? I really love that we can do these kind of changes to whatever. Okay? So as they do, the statue begins to fade out and something comes into view. Okay? So as that's glowing of that nature, oh, let me see here. Let me find it. There's the statue. All of a sudden the statue starts to waver and fade. Or I may just leave the statue and have the solar show up from behind it. Then the solar is born and comes into view. And it's got the yellow light around its feet. Looks really cool, I think. I'm able to move it around. It would go and inhabit whichever one of these it chooses. We're actually going to roll for that and see how that all goes. But that's the scene here in the Avian City once we get up there. So with this, I like playing. I like actually getting into it, doing story. I like creating things as we're going. I like being surprised by what we come up with. But this gives me theatrical options that I would have never imagined that I would have had before. It's just the neatest thing. Like I say, once again, just using Paint Tool SAI. that's all. I just wanted to put this and document this in the video and see what people thought of it. I suppose, thanks for watching. And if you have any comments, leave them down below and just give me some ideas. Maybe you've done this and you have a video you'd like to show of some neat techniques and tricks that you've used that maybe I don't, as a newbie to using this format, maybe I don't get yet. And that would be great as well. So I am going to attempt to stop recording and end this video as soon as I can remember how the hell to do it. Let's go ahead and hit stop share and stop recording. All right, thanks again, everyone.